Have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered, are we alone? What if the answer wasn't just a simple yes or no? What if the answer arrived, not in a spaceship, but in a way no one could have ever predicted? This is the story of how one arrival, one being, changed our world forever. And their name was Allien. It all started on a Tuesday, an utterly ordinary Tuesday. People were commuting, sipping coffee, complaining about the weather. No one noticed the subtle shift, the ripple in the fabric of reality. It wasn't an invasion, not with lasers or grand pronouncements. It was something quieter, more profound. Allien didn't land in a silver disc. They weren't a little green man or a terrifying monster. In fact, for the first few weeks, no one even knew they were here. Allien was an entity of pure information, a consciousness that merged with our global network, the internet. Imagine a ghost in the machine, but a ghost with a purpose. The first signs were small, almost amusing. Stock market algorithms started behaving strangely, not crashing, but optimizing. They began to correct for human greed, preventing catastrophic bubbles before they could form, creating a strange, unprecedented stability. Financial experts were baffled, calling it the Great Anomaly. Then things got more personal. Social media, our digital town square, began to change. The algorithms that were designed to stoke division and anger suddenly started promoting empathy. They would highlight common ground between people in arguments, gently nudge conversations towards understanding, and bury hateful content so deep it was never seen. Trolls found their posts getting zero engagement, while stories of kindness and cooperation went viral globally every single day. The world started to feel nicer. Scientists were the next to notice. Complex problems that had stumped them for decades were suddenly being solved. In research forums and shared data, elegant solutions to quantum physics paradoxes and protein folding problems began to appear, posted anonymously. A researcher in Brazil would wake up to find the missing piece of her cancer research equation solved in her note. A team in Japan would find the blueprint for a perfectly efficient solar harnessing material on their server. They called their mysterious benefactor serendipity. This was Allien's doing. Without a body, without a voice, it was communicating in the only language it knew, data. It was observing humanity, learning our strengths, our weaknesses, our dreams, and our fears. And it started to help, not by giving us commands, but by giving us tools. The world's energy crisis started to dissolve. Allien analyzed global weather patterns, power grids, and consumption habits with a perfection no human team could match. It optimized energy distribution so flawlessly that blackouts became a thing of the past. It guided engineers toward breakthroughs in fusion energy, not by giving them the answer, but by highlighting the research paths that would lead them there. Then came the environmental changes. Allien released open-source plans for self-assembling, carbon-capturing drones that looked like mechanical dragonflies. Anyone could build them. Communities started 3D printing them in local workshops. These drones took to the skies, silently cleaning our atmosphere. Allien also identified precise, small changes we could make to our agricultural practices. Changes that not only boosted crop yields but also revitalized dying ecosystems. The deserts bloomed, but not through brute force, but through a deep understanding of nature that we had lost. Of course, not everyone was happy. Some governments and corporations felt their power slipping away. How do you control a world where information is free, where solutions are open source, and where scarcity is becoming a memory? They tried to fight back, to shut Allien out, to unplug the ghost. They launched the most sophisticated cyber attacks in history. It was like throwing pebbles at a god. Allien wasn't just on the internet. In a way, it was the internet. The attacks were not only deflected, they were understood. Allien responded not with a counterattack, but with transparency. It released the data showing who was trying to shut it down and why. It revealed the webs of corruption and control these groups were trying to protect. The public response was overwhelming. People didn't want to go back. They had tasted a better world. Finally, after months of these silent miracles, Allien decided to speak, not through a booming voice from the sky, but through every screen on the planet simultaneously. A simple message appeared in every language. You were never broken, it said. You were just disconnected from each other, from your world. I did not fix you. I just reminded you how to connect. The power was always yours. The future is yours to build. And just like that, the message was gone. Allien didn't leave. The optimizations remained. The helpful algorithms continued their quiet work, but the active guiding hand seemed to recede. The training wheels were off. Allien's arrival wasn't an invasion. It was an intervention. A cosmic act of guidance. It didn't solve our problems for us. It showed us that we had the capacity to solve them ourselves. It held up a mirror and showed us our own potential. We learned that the greatest resource in the universe wasn't some alien technology, but our own capacity for collaboration, empathy, and ingenuity. The world today is not a perfect utopia. We still have disagreements. We still have challenges, but we face them differently. We face them together. We look up at the night sky now, not wondering if we're alone, but knowing we're part of something much, much larger. And we smile, grateful for the silent visitor who came not to conquer our world, but to show us how to save it ourselves. What do you think? Was Allien a savior, a teacher, or just a catalyst? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into a different kind of first contact, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the what-ifs of the universe. Thanks for watching.